Hello, this is Manish Patel from the II Capital Group. Today is June 29th, 2011. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the global markets, where we cover everything from the US to Europe to Asia. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so let's begin. So, normal disclaimer: this is for education use only. All charts you're going to see are from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com. Okay, here are my contact details. You can follow us on Twitter, Ichimoku Trading. So let's begin. We're going to go to FreeStockCharts.com and we're going to start looking at some markets now. Actually, we're going to just go to a tab form and we're going to look at the weekly now. So let's start off in Europe. Let's go to the German market. This is the weekly time frame here. You could see that basically we're doing nothing right now. We're just basically ranging between 7,000 and 7,250. So nothing really at all going there. We got to break down one or the other between those two to determine what's going on. If we break the support, then we're going to enter a major pullback. If we break above 7,250, then we can resume our bullish trend to the top side. London, if you could see that it's not even a question of whether resuming a bullish trend at all. We've kind of entered a major pullback right now. Key resistance level is going to be around 58.50, and then key support level, which is minor, is going to be around 5,600. But this thing is just consolidating, so there's nothing really there. Paris a little more worse, so you could see because the cloud's very thin, a little movement down could actually start to get this thing into a bearish sentiment and could start a trend downwards. So Paris is a little more to the downside than London. So if you look at all the markets right now, Frankfurt is still the strongest out of all of them. Let's go to Stockholm. We've added this into our list now. If you look at Stockholm right now, you could see that basically it's bearish. Nothing really going on there. It's at a major support right now, so it's which was at 1,046. Kind of bounced off that. It's kind of going back into resistance level, which is close to 1120. So once it gets there, it will be interesting to see. But this thing is just consolidating, so there's nothing really going on there at all. Israel. If you look at Israel, we're at a support level 2 on this ETF, so we're just kind of bouncing up. Next resistance level is a major one, is going to be at 5,700. If we break that, then maybe we could start going higher, but that's the top of the range, so it'll be interesting to see. Turkey, nothing really going on here. It is bearish and a little more movement down where it breaks below 56. We can start a bearish trend to the downside, so be careful right now in trying to go long anything in Turkey. Russia is just kind of sitting there consolidating right now. It's under a major pullback, but really is not doing anything at all to make a decision which way it wants to go. Shanghai, China, excuse me. We are bearish trending right now to the downside. It's under a little minor pullback. So if it holds here and then starts moving down where it breaks below 2,600, then we could definitely start a trend where we're going to go retest the 2350 level. But if it breaks above about 2850, then the bearish trend is going to be pretty much done and over with. Hong Kong market, we've gone below the clouds. The sentiment's bearish, but it's got to move downwards drastically in order for this thing to start trending downwards. So only time will tell what's going to happen there. Tokyo, nothing really going on, just sideways. Bombay market started moving downwards here, kind of retested this little support here, level here at 17,276. Bounced off that and trying to go higher. 19,000 is basically a major resistance level, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. The longer this consolidates, the weaker the market's going to get. So this thing really has got to start turning and break the 19,000 level and start going into the 20,000 in order for it to start a bullish trend again to the top side. Let's see, Korea. If you look at Korea, this is a new one we've added. I thought we added this. Nothing's coming up yet. Let's try this again. KOSPI. Nope, no, it's not coming up. It was showing up a minute ago, so we'll come back to that. Let's go look at Australia. Okay, Australia, if you look here, it's below the cloud, is bearish sentiment, but it's got a lot of movement to make in order for this thing to even go bearish at all, because the future cloud's still very bullish. So, you know, it's got to move down drastically. Let's see if we get back to Korea. Nothing for Korea as of yet. Well, there's a daily. We can't get a weekly yet. If you look at the daily time frame, nothing really going on. It's in the cloud, so just consolidating right now. So there's nothing there at all. Weekly, we can't get yet, so we're just gonna move on. So now let's go to the U.S. side. Let's cover some of the U.S. Markets out there, or North America. This is basically a new one we added. This is TSX for Canada. You can see it's basically been bullish trending here. We're on a major pullback right now, and we're still on a major pullback, so it's got to get to 13,500, break that to start resuming its trend to the top side. If it gets below the cloud, then the trend's definitely going to be over. This is Colombia. If you look at the Colombia market, basically it's just consolidating. It's in the cloud. It's still got a little more bullish tilt than anything. Sao Paulo, which is Brazil, we talked about this being bearish. You could see that this is now trying to start a bearish trend to the downside. If it breaks below 60,000 level, this is definitely going to start crashing, and the bullish movements, the bear trend to the bottom side is definitely going to start. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's go to the U.S. side. Let's minimize this, and let's go look at the Dow futures first. If you look at the Dow futures on the weekly time frame, we're in a major pullback. We're basically at a major resistance level right now, which is at 12,147, which is where we're at right now as far as that's concerned. And you could see that also from the daily time frame. So this is a key level here to resume. We'll see what's going to happen. If we do break above 12,320, then we do have a possibility of resuming the bullish trend. But if we're going to resume to go down and finish this pullback, then it's got to hold here and start going down. So today is going to be a critical day, or actually this week's going to be a critical week before 4th of July weekend. Let's go look at the ES futures. You could see that ES futures is a little more weak compared to Dow because they're a little off the Cajunson right now. But you could see that its major resistance level is 1307. We're off from that right now. And you could see the same thing here on the daily time frame, where we started going down, then we pulled back. So this is definitely not a trend yet. It's got to break below this level here, 1350, in order to start a trend on the daily time frame, which would be a major pullback as far as the weekly is concerned. And then the Nasdaq, if you look at Nasdaq, it's kind of equal to the S&P now. It was a little weaker, but you could see that again, its resistance level is going to be around about 2,300, and then the support level is going to be around 2,175. That's got to break. And then lastly, we've got the Russell market. For all the Canadian people that love to play Russell, same scenario as all the markets right now. So this week is a kind of a critical week to see exactly where we end up with and see if we break the major resistance levels. But we are right at the major resistance levels, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens here and where we go from here. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoy it. See you next.